My name's Nathan Leopard. I got started remote training about 2 years ago, but I've been with Learning RX for three total. And so I did about a year and a half in person in Stanton, Harrisonburg. And when I went back to graduate school in Norfolk, I went fully remote. Kind of coincided well with the start of the pandemic and everything, and needed remote trainers, and I just stayed on and kept training over Zoom and through Learning RX. It's been a great time.
What is one of the things you enjoy most about remote training?
I really like being able to train with people who aren't in Virginia. I mean, I'm not from Virginia. I'm from back west. So being able to work with people from like Texas and Arkansas and all over the place, being able to kind of expand the reach kind of almost of Learning RX and people I can help has been one of the things I've enjoyed by being remote.
What are some fun stories you might have from remote training?
I'm actually working with a kid now who lives out in the country in Virginia. And while we were still getting used to the fact that we were remote and we were doing remote training, he trains with this big window behind him that looks out over this field. And like one of our first session or two, well, the mid activity, whatever we're working on, he jumps up and just runs out of the room. And so I'm kind of just left sitting there, like wondering where he went. And his mom comes in maybe 10 seconds later and is like apologizing because he saw the farmer going by on his tractor and got so excited that he just jumped up and ran out after him to go see what he was doing and completely forgot that he was training. That was pretty funny. I couldn't blame him for that. That was probably one of the more fun times I've had training. It was just such a funny thing. He just jumped up and ran. That didn't say a word.
Just out of there.
Yep. Then he came right back and got right back to work though, and hasn't done it again. But that one time was pretty cool.
That's great. Have you had any really inspiring stories of seeing kids, how they started to how they finished? Mm-hmm.
That same exact kid came in with a pretty significant speech block, like a speech impediment, couldn't say a lot of different sounds, and now we're able to have full conversations, read everything without a single hiccup in any of the sounds or words or anything he says or reads. So that's probably been the most recent really big growth that I've seen just in a couple months. He completely got rid of all that, and he's been doing really well.
Like, is it still a rewarding experience for you to be a Learning RX trainer? What's that like?
Oh, incredibly. I still see all the same improvements, still share all the same struggles with whatever they're working on, what we're trying to get better at. Just being through a screen doesn't take away any of the growth or anything that they're experiencing, and the growth that I'm experiencing working with them. It's just the exact same thing, just through a screen. Being in school, we just work around my schedule. It's never been a problem. Whenever I fit people in, whenever I can, and we just go from there. It really comes down to communication between us and getting it to work, and there hasn't been any problems yet.
That's awesome. You said you were in school, so you're doing graduate school at the same time?
Yep.
Nice. Do you care to mention what you're studying?
Sure. I'm studying clinical mental health counseling.
Interesting. So is kind of intrigued you? Do you think the methods in Learning RX is kind of...
Oh yeah. I did my undergrad at West Virginia on performance psychology, and a lot of that is already tied in with Learning RX. Learning RX already has a lot of the skills and different like psychological tricks of that kind of school of psychology embedded in what they do. And now just being able to kind of mix that in with what I'm doing at Old Dominion with the counseling side of it has been a really good experience, and I think has been really helpful for the people I've worked with.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So you definitely have like a very strong interest in like the mind and how it goes in.
Yep.
That sort of thing.
I spend a lot of time focused on the brain, it seems.
Yeah, you see all the brain stuff at Learning RX and then your own brain stuff in your studies.
Yep. They can apply themselves to one another. It's been interesting to compare the two and see how they can play a role on each other.
Is there anything else about remote training that you would like to add? Or
it does. It has the same exact impact as in person. I see all the same stuff I did when I was in person. There isn't any difference or stigma between being in person or online. It's the exact same skills that they're getting, and it's still a lot of fun for whoever does it too. It's not like it takes away any of the fun they also have while they're working. So
Mhm.
it's definitely worth a try, and I really enjoy it.